News with Jess Lujan.
Former Senator Marilyn Manibusan. We're talking about Guam's quest for political self-determination. Senator, you're talking about the engagement and the importance of the engagement of folks, of course, at the time to be able to get them out to vote on that plebiscite back in 1982, that was, right?
Yes, it's very important. I mean, you need to incite passion.
Mm-hmm.
You need to say that this is a very important process for Guam, the exercise of the native inhabitants
Mm-hmm.
for the right to self-determine their destiny, and what choices do they have. So you also need to not only impart the information to them and what these choices are, but you also need to find out from them how, what comfort level do they have about certain things that impact their lives. So then you tell them, well, if you're really worried about this particular issue, then this may be a political status option that may be more comfortable for you, right? And so how do you engage that? Is you just need to go out to the street and talk face to face with the people of Guam.
Let's talk about the percentages, because again, there's been talk about, hey, you want to get the vote out, you got to integrate it within a gubernatorial election, because you get greater voter turnout there. Again, I can see the argument, and looks like the date's been set for 2015, basically, which is an off election year as a standalone. I can understand the concept of that because of the fact that you don't want it to be clouded by the other election, be it a lone get out the vote for this particular thing. But
I mean, if you're in the same mindset.
Well, and exactly. But I'm looking at, and at that time, I guess the people of Guam were highly engaged, but I'm looking at the voter turnout. And the plebiscite vote. The plebiscite vote, there were a grand total of 26,682 registered voters. And thank you, Election Commission, for providing this information to me. At that time, 26,682 registered voters. The people that voted in the plebiscite, and this one here again was a standalone. This was a standalone. Standalone. The number of people that voted was only 10,014.
38%.
38%.
Yes.
Failed to vote was 16,668. 62% failed to vote on a standalone in an aggressive campaign. Aggressive campaign, get out the vote campaign. Now, it changed when there was a runoff, because obviously there was a runoff between the Commonwealth and statehood, right? I think it was.
Right.
It changed a little bit. And let me ask you this. In the runoff, I gather this was during a primary election and a gubernatorial primary election.
It was a very heated one.
Very heated. Who were the gubernatorial teams?
Well, in the primary election for 1982, I believe from the Democrat side was Sablan Leon Guerrero and Berdalio Regis.
Regis, okay.
And on the Republican ballot was Calvo Perez and Moylan Blas.
Moylan Blas.
So you actually had two.
Yeah.
Two.
So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all their voters came out to vote.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and it looked like it. I mean, when you infused it, when you put it in there, I mean the numbers changed, because at that time now the plebiscite runoff, the runoff between the two, the Commonwealth status attained 17,348 votes, whereas statehood attained only 6,476 votes. So when you add the two, you came to a great percentage of the registered voters that came out to vote.
Right, and out of the 32,055 registered voters then, all right, 26,000 showed up to vote.
Yeah.
Right, and even then it showed that, and then it was simpler. I mean, sometimes people come up for whatever reasons, but Commonwealth status and statehood was the runoff, because it didn't have the plurality of votes that was necessary. But I mean, you can see that 73% was for Commonwealth and 27%, but it was held in either the primary election because they knew that they were going to get the people out.
Get the people out,
Right.
and that was...
So it was a better measurement of where the people wanted.
And I guess it's something to consider. I understand. I mean, I in the very beginning believed that it should be probably a part of a gubernatorial election primary, when you have maybe both sides, of
Yes.
course, getting the vote out.
Right.
But I also understand the argument of a standalone. But again, as much as the aggressiveness of the get the vote out at that time, and a standalone, you did not garner the vote. I mean, they just did not come out to vote. The passion was not quite as there. Now, I don't know whether the passion was heated, when it came down to the Commonwealth or the statehood, because everybody that was against statehood went and voted for the I guess the better choice.
Right.
So that could have been the case. But they came out to vote for their favorite candidate, and so alongside that, this might have been the afterthought, But again, my understanding at that period, that it was very aggressively run. The legislature was highly involved. I mean, there were 21 senators at the time.
That's right.
And they were engaged in that. And I'm sure 21 of you probably had different statuses that you wanted to support. But
each one had.
But each one
had a voice.
Each one had a voice, and each one
And
was
they knew
engaged.
what they wanted.
And they knew what they wanted,
Right.
and they knew what it meant.
Right.
They knew that they wanted to get from here to there, to a better place.
And we had, like I said, we have the three branches of our government. So we speak in solidarity.
There we go. We'll take a break again, come back to the last block, and man, this is a lot of information. We'll try to get it in the last block. Be right back.